Alright, so it's Lex. Happy Friday. This week is week 4 on Ambiguity. This week's topics are: has our perception of sexuality changed as coming out as trans? And if so, how? And what issues have we had in regards to school or work? So, the first thing, or the first question, when I first came out as trans, I would say that I solely identified as a straight male. I think this is mostly because that was the easiest when you're trying to explain yourself to someone else. More recently, I think that I would be accepting of the term pansexual, where it's more of a hearts not parts type of thing. Like, I don't really care what's in your pants. I'm gonna love you for the person that you are. But I'm not really looking for anyone else since I'm engaged. But I feel like if I had the opportunity to date a trans man or a trans woman, or even if the right guy came along possibly, I wouldn't turn them away just because of their genitalia. So that's basically my standing on my sexuality. And the other part of this topic was issues that we've dealt with in work or school. So I'll talk about a few of the work issues that I've dealt with first. When I first came out as trans, I was at a job and I had maybe been on T for about a month, and it was in more of a rural area of Riverside, and there were a few like fairly religious people that worked there, and one of the ladies would go about to do anything to hinder my work performance. Like, if I were carrying a crate of something out, she would shut the door in my face, literally. Or if we had to work on the same aisle or whatever, she would stay as far away from me as possible, like she was going to catch something if she got too close to me. Luckily, I was fairly friendly with my boss, who was supportive of LGBT. So she took that lady aside and talked to her and told her that if she didn't improve her behavior, that there were going to be consequences. There was also kind of a mutual agreement that we would try and not put ourselves in that awkward situation, so that way it didn't become negative for anyone involved. So that ended up working out really well. Most recently in my job that I'm at, I have only been known as male and Lex there, and since I just had surgery in January, I'm only about 7 months post-op. I'm very happy and like to show my progress that I've made since surgery on my Instagram. Well, one of my coworkers apparently follows me on Instagram, which is fine. I don't have a private page, but she's been showing the new hires that like just started, that I haven't even met yet because they work at a different location, my post-op pictures, which is super inappropriate. And I'm actually in the middle of talking with our operations HR manager on how we're going to go about sitting her down and explaining to her, while we appreciate her being a trans ally, that there are certain things that are not appropriate for her to be sharing. Number one, I don't even know this person, so obviously I'm not out to them as trans, so why are you showing them my post-op pictures? I'm a little more calm about it now, but I was very heated when I first found out that she was doing this, and I just wanted to like call her up and scream at her basically. But obviously that's not the best way to handle it either, so like I said, I've been working with my HR manager, and we're gonna figure out a way, the most politically correct way, to inform her that what she's doing is not okay. So there's that. Also recently I started going back to school after 8 years, so my name and everything that was in the system for the college that I wanted to go to was still all of my old information, because I've only had it changed for about 2 years. So I brought my court document and my new ID and my old ID to the admissions office at school, and the lady who was at the desk helping me was like, oh, okay, let me take these things back, and she went back to talk to her boss or whatever, and brought it all back to me and was like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you you're gonna have to go through the district. And I was like, well, why not? Like, all of my court documents are here. There should be no issues. And she was like, well, I don't know how to deal with this, so you're just gonna have to go through the district. So she gave me the contact lady for the district's number. So I left there, called her, left a message immediately. We ended up playing phone tag for about 2 weeks, unfortunately. She wanted me to come down and bring stuff to her, but I was working 2 jobs at the time and didn't have time to just go drop off a court document that the lady should have changed it anyway. So she agreed to let me fax her all of my paperwork that was needed to change my name through the school. So that way when I started this semester, I was able to start with my chosen name and my gender corrected and all that good stuff. So yeah, those are my little spiels about this week's topics. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.